Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all doing well. This week I thought I'd talk about the 5 best budget-friendly countries that you should travel to once quarantine is over and we are allowed to internationally travel again. In no particular order, I'm just gonna start off with Mexico. So my friend Sophie and I backpacked to Mexico in our 4th year of university on our reading week. So we spent about 10 days in the Yucatan Peninsula, and you can definitely spend way more time in Mexico. It is an incredible country with so much to see and do. Some of the things that we loved about Mexico were how beautiful the white sandy beaches were. The nature was so stunning. There's so many places where you could go for nature walks. The ruins in Tulum were so spectacular since the ocean was right there. It was all tropical plants around it. But more inward, we visited Chichen Itza, which was again a very spectacular ruin to explore. Everything in Mexico was very easy to get to. We could walk up to the station and book a bus ticket. The people in Mexico are just incredibly friendly and more than willing to help you if you are lost or trying to figure something out. The food is also delicious. They had so much great Mexican food that was also vegetarian. We loved eating all of the street food. The churros were the best. I ate quite a few of those. It was very tasty. The accommodation was so safe and the people that were staying there were really fun, and I definitely recommend staying in hostels here. We also made our way up to the island of Holbox, which is north of Cancun, and this was a really fun island. We rented a go-kart and whipped around the island for the afternoon. One thing I like about Mexico is you can really do it on a budget, or if you're willing to spend more, you can have more of a luxury vacation. There really is something for everyone. It is a very beautiful country with such a rich culture, and I highly recommend everyone check out Mexico. I think if you are traveling to Mexico and staying in a resort, I highly recommend getting off of the resort and checking what authentic Mexico has to offer. There's so much to see and do. I never felt at all unsafe, and I really enjoyed the time that I was there. Recommend Mexico to anybody. So next on the list is Morocco. So I thoroughly enjoyed this country. Again, I traveled there with Sophie while we were backpacking Europe, and the culture is completely different to anything I had ever experienced before. We were there during Ramadan. We learned a lot about the Islam culture and different traditions that they do and things like that. It was really fascinating. Some of the things that we really enjoyed was how good the food was. We ate a lot of tagines and couscous. It was always tasty, and we drank a ton of mint tea there. The food was always really great. The food was also very cheap, and for only a few dollars you could have a full meal and you're full for the day. So her and I stayed in riads, and they were really cool. The layout of them was unlike anything that I've seen before. The architecture in Morocco is also really special, and I really enjoyed all the tiles and things that they used there. I really loved getting lost in the markets in Morocco and just exploring all the little trinkets and things that people were selling, as well as exploring the bakeries. I thought it was a really unique experience. The excursions in Morocco are fairly priced as well. We did a 3-day, 2-night Sahara Desert tour for only 80 euros, so that was very affordable. So we slept in the Sahara Desert, went all through the Atlas Mountains, and our group was amazing. And we just booked that through our Riyadh, and that was a really great experience as well. I would also recommend going to Chefchaouen. This is the Blue City. That was filled with so much culture. It was really interesting just getting lost in the streets there and exploring and taking photographs. I was really amazed by that. Overall, Morocco is a very affordable country, and there's something for everyone to do there. I highly recommend getting out of your comfort zone and going to Morocco. I recommend this to everyone that I talk to. It's a very spectacular country, and I think you will be very impressed. So next on the list is Portugal. So this is an incredible country located in Western Europe. It is among the cheapest countries within Western Europe, and there's so many interesting things to do there. First of all, the nature is spectacular. They have really great hiking trails. The beaches are beautiful. This is where Sophie and I learned how to surf. Poorly, I might add, but I learned nonetheless. I would definitely go back there. Once you do go into the cities, there's beautiful architecture everywhere. They have incredible artwork, and everything is just really beautifully decorated. The food in Portugal Portugal is delicious and the people are very, very kind. We ended up couch surfing a few times and we went out in Lisbon with one of our Portuguese hosts. He really showed us the Portuguese way per se. They love staying out late, they love to dance, and it was a really fun time. Transportation in Portugal is also super easy. It's so easy to get around to different cities. Sophie and I had no issues with that. One thing to note is that Portugal is very hilly, both in Lisbon and Porto. A lot of the streets are straight up and then straight down, straight up, straight down. Good pair of walking shoes is definitely recommended. It was a very beautiful country and there's so much culture. So there's so many little festivals going on when we're there. They also love watching football and there's so many screens with so many people just watching the game together and coming together as a country. Sophie and I ended up renting a Fiat 500. So this is a very small car and we ended up sleeping in it for 8 days. This was actually one of the highlights of my time in Europe. We saw so much in the Algarve and we could stay right along the beach. So I think if you are considering renting a car, renting a van would be my recommendation, and kind of van lifing it because there's so many great spots to camp and you see a lot more than traditionally backpacking. Portugal is high up on the list of some of the best budget countries to travel to, and I will hopefully be going back soon once we're allowed to travel again. So the next country that I'm going to recommend is Czech. So I might be a little bit biased because my family is from Czech, but I think it is a phenomenal country. There's so much history to learn about. There's beautiful castles. The nature there is really incredible. The food is pretty tasty and cheap, as well as the alcohol. So beer and wine are really good and they're known for their beer. And more shockingly to a lot of people, they are actually known for some really great wine as well. So for first-time people that are traveling to Czech, you'll probably be going to Prague, and this is a really great city. There's so much to do and see. It's very easy to get around. The subway system is very user-friendly. The people in Czech are very helpful. If you have any questions, they can point you in the right direction. I also really liked in Old Town Square, they have a lot of festivals always going around. I was there over Easter. There was a lot of different booths set up and really cool decorations all around. They have amazing Christmas markets in the winter time. So once you're finally done checking out Prague, there's so much to see, so it might take you a few days. I would recommend going to Český Krumlov. So this is south of Prague, and again, it's just this old quaint town. There's a castle there and the architecture is just stunning. There is also a river that flows through the town and you can rent a little boat. I had a really great afternoon doing that. I'd also recommend checking out the Czech countryside. That's very beautiful as well. And if you head to Pilsen, you can go to the Pilsner brewery and kind of explore that process. I think going to breweries are super fascinating. It's a really cool process to observe. So accommodation is also very budget friendly. It is a really great location within Europe. I loved hanging out with my family there, but there's also so many really great locals that would love to take you around and just explore and show you what Czech has to offer. So I'd highly recommend that, and I hope you guys check it out. So another great location that I would recommend is Vietnam. So I was traveling in Vietnam earlier this year, and this was one of the first places that I truly solo backpacked. It was a really great experience. The people in Vietnam are so friendly and it is very easy to get around. I had no trouble going to all the places that I wanted to see. The food was also very affordable and so delicious. I love Vietnamese food. Accommodation was extremely cheap. I talked all about this in my video on Vietnam, so I'll link it here. There's so many adventurous activities to do, such as the Ha Giang Loop, as well as checking out Ha Long Bay. They also have places where you could check out really neat caves, and all in all, there's so many cool things to check out in Vietnam. The culture and the history are so rich. So if you're looking for a very cheap location to travel to that is also safe, unique, and really wonderful, I'd recommend going to Vietnam. It is also very close to the rest of Southeast Asia, which is also very budget friendly. I didn't want to include all Asian countries. I thought I'd mix it up a bit. But again, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, they're very affordable and such great cultures in all of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I highly recommend all 5 of these countries. They're all budget friendly. The food in all of them is so phenomenal. The accommodation is very cheap. The locals are friendly. There's something for everyone to do in all 5 of these countries. So I'm gonna leave you here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope after this whole quarantine is over and international travel ramps up that you'll consider some of these locations. If you have any questions about them, feel free to message me. I would be more than happy to talk about my experience. These are great countries and I hope you can check them out.